We all have moments when life feels overwhelming, when the weight of our worries presses down and it feels like there's no escape. Stress, heartbreak, loss, or even just the relentless pace of daily life can leave us searching for a way out, a way to quiet the noise in our minds. In these moments, the urge to escape is strong. We crave relief, even if it's just for a little while. The world can feel too much, and we long for something, anything, that promises to make it all fade away, if only temporarily. The promise of relief in a drink or drug is seductive, a quick fix for pain, anxiety, or loneliness. It's easy to believe that one glass, one pill, or one hit will help us forget, help us cope, or help us feel normal again. For a moment, it might even seem to work. It's human to want to quiet the storm inside, to reach for something that promises instant calm. We all want comfort, and sometimes substances seem like the easiest way to find it. But what we're really searching for is peace, connection, and understanding. But using substances is like putting a bandage on a wound that needs stitches. It covers, but doesn't heal. The pain beneath the surface is still there, waiting for us when the effects wear off. We might feel better for a moment, but the real hurt remains untouched. The relief is temporary, and the underlying pain remains, often growing worse. Over time, what once felt like a solution can start to feel like another problem, one that's harder to escape. What starts as a way to cope can quietly become the center of our lives, turning freedom into dependence. The things we once used to manage our pain can begin to control us, shaping our choices and our days. The very thing we used to escape can become the prison we can't break free from. But understanding why we reach for these things is the first step toward finding healthier ways to heal and to truly set ourselves free. The first time someone turns to drugs or alcohol, the sense of escape can feel almost magical. For a brief moment, anxiety melts away, sadness lifts, and the weight of the world seems lighter. It's as if all the worries and pain that once felt overwhelming are suddenly distant, replaced by a comforting sense of ease and belonging. In these moments, surrounded by friends or alone in a quiet room, life seems easier, more manageable. The laughter feels real, the smiles genuine, and the problems that once loomed so large shrink into the background. But this sense of relief is only temporary. It's an illusion, a fleeting trick of the mind and body that masks the real issues beneath the surface. The pain we try so hard to avoid doesn't actually disappear. Instead, it lingers in the background, waiting for the moment when the effects wear off, often returning even stronger than before, leaving us feeling more lost and alone. Substances promise us control, a way to manage our emotions and stress. But in reality, they deepen the struggle, trapping us in a cycle of brief relief followed by regret, guilt, and even more pain. The more we use to cope, the more we need to feel the same effect, and the worse we feel when it fades. What started as a solution quickly becomes another problem. Alcohol, a depressant, doesn't just numb the pain. It drags us down further, making it harder to find joy or motivation in everyday life. Many drugs, instead of calming us, actually heighten anxiety and paranoia, leaving us feeling even more on edge and disconnected from those around us. We end up chasing that initial sense of relief, but each attempt only leads us deeper into a downward spiral, making it harder to break free. What once felt like a quick fix slowly transforms into a long-term trap, a prison built from our own attempts to escape pain. Breaking free means facing the truth. The real solution isn't found in a bottle or a pill, but within ourselves, through courage, support, and the willingness to heal. What begins as a choice to feel better can quietly become a need, then a dependence. Our brains adapt, relying on substances for relief, and stop producing their own feel-good chemicals. Soon, we use not to feel good, but just to feel normal. The coping tool becomes a cage, trapping us in cycles of withdrawal and craving. Real coping skills never develop, and our emotional muscles weaken. Relationships suffer, self-esteem erodes, and isolation grows. The substance we once used to connect now pushes us further away from others and from ourselves. True freedom comes from breaking this cycle and learning to face life on our own terms. Self-care isn't about numbing pain or escaping reality. It's about nurturing your mind, body, and spirit for the long term. It's a conscious decision to treat yourself with kindness, even when life feels overwhelming. Instead of running from discomfort, self-care invites you to sit with your feelings, to listen to what your body and mind truly need, and to respond with compassion. It's about building a foundation of well-being that supports you through both the highs and the lows. True self-care means making choices your future self will thank you for, even when they're hard. It's choosing a nourishing meal over fast food, or a good night's sleep over another late night out. Sometimes it's saying no to things that drain you, and yes to the habits that help you grow. These choices aren't always easy, but they are acts of self-love that accumulate over time, shaping a healthier, happier you. Using substances to cope is self-abandonment, not self-care. When you reach for a quick fix to numb your pain, you're turning away from your own needs. True healing asks you to face your struggles head-on, to acknowledge your pain, and to choose healthier ways to process it. It's about honoring your feelings without letting them control your actions. Healing begins when you stop outsourcing your strength and start showing up for yourself. Every time you choose to care for yourself, you reclaim a little more of your power. It's in these small daily acts, like getting up for a morning walk, or simply looking in the mirror and deciding to try again, that real transformation happens. Redefine self-care. Nourish your body, move, rest, meditate, connect with supportive people, and seek help when needed. Self-care is not selfish, it's essential. It's reaching out for support when you need it, allowing yourself to rest without guilt, and making space for joy and connection in your life. These choices build resilience and self-trust. Over time, you'll notice your confidence growing, your energy returning, and your outlook shifting. Each positive step you take is a promise kept to yourself, a reminder that you are worthy of care and respect. When you care for yourself from the inside out, you no longer need to reach for something outside to feel whole. You discover that peace and strength come from within, and that you have the power to create a life that feels good to live. Real self-care is an act of self-respect and courage. It's a daily commitment to choose healing over harming, to honor your needs, and to believe in your own capacity to grow and thrive. I invite you to try a 30-day sobriety experiment, not as deprivation, but as discovery. Use this time to reset, clear the fog, and reconnect with yourself. The first week may be tough. Cravings, irritability, and restlessness are normal. Be gentle with yourself and lean on support. As the days pass, you'll notice deeper sleep, more energy, and emotional clarity. By the end, you'll have proven your own strength and gained insight into your patterns. Whether you continue or return to substances mindfully, you'll do so from a place of power, not habit. This is your chance to reclaim your story. Success in this challenge comes from building a toolkit of healthy coping strategies. Start with a journal. Write out your cravings, feelings, and victories to understand your triggers. Identify what makes you want to use and plan new responses, like a walk or meditation instead of a drink. Replace old habits with positive rituals, herbal tea, music, a bath, or a call with a friend. Suggest social activities that don't revolve around substances. Most importantly, seek support, professional help, support groups, or trusted friends. You don't have to do this alone. Asking for help is a sign of strength. The idea of 30 days can feel overwhelming, so focus on just today. Take it one day, even one moment at a time. When cravings hit, ask, what can I do right now to get through the next 10 minutes sober? Each day you succeed is a victory. Celebrate it. This builds momentum and rewrites your story about who you are. Every sober day is a deposit in your self-esteem. This journey is about discovering your strength and resilience. It's not just a break from substances, it's a return to your true self, one clear-headed day at a time.